This is CWO4 Victor Pinion, U.S. Navy retired. Tell us some stories of my naval career. This is part 2 of my incremental overhaul program story. We put together this incremental overhaul program. I'd done the initial work on it as directed by my commanding officer, Captain Brown, and I got Dick Schuman involved, and he got the Comfort West Pack, now the Air Pack people involved. And together we put together the final plan. Well, it was going to be Dick Schuman and myself were going to manage this plan at the local level. Dick Schuman would arrange for all the parts and materials that we need while the ship's at sea. He would do that, arrange for all the parts and materials we need, and for all of the labor forces, off-ship labor forces, the civilian labor forces that we needed to do the job and coordinate all that stuff. That's a lot of work for one man to do, but he did it. He did a fine job of it. I managed the ship's force portion, our normal maintenance work, which was a lot, plus inserting, coordinating, interfacing this incremental overhaul jobs, which was a lot of work, and trying to keep everyone informed and coordinating all of that. And Dick Schuman and I would get together and look at everything, talk everything over and so forth. And we would plan each increment's work, the import period before. And we weren't always able to do everything that we'd planned, so we would reschedule it for when we could plan it, considering why we didn't do it this time. But we also had included in the plan to not have more machinery out of service and disassembled than could be put back in service within the ship's readiness posture, which was, I think we were on a 48-hour alert to be able to go to sea and operate. Well, we were sticking within that. We did not disable that. We did the first increment, and it was a massive amount of work, and there was a lot of confusion. Well, this maintenance chief, not maintenance chief, we didn't have a maintenance chief. This cat chief had transferred to the arresting gear crew, and a new cat chief had reported aboard. This alcoholic chief got with his branch officer, who is now lieutenant commander. No, he's still a lieutenant. Good officer, but under this chief's wing, and the chief is misleading him, I believe. In any case, the chief is resisting everything I do. And I felt he resented the progress we had made. He didn't want me to succeed at anything that I did because he felt threatened by me because I reported board started doing my job immediately, and he did not like that because it identified many weaknesses of his where he had been going wrong. Correcting him. He got his officer to go with him to see the air boss. By now, I believe it was Commander Lee. And complaining about the incremental overhaul program and me managing it and how I was disabling the ship with this incremental overhaul program, and we ought to stop it immediately. Commander Lee was well aware that the captain had directed me to design and use that program, but they frightened him with their story. Now, this chief was very glib of tongue. He was no dummy, but he scared the air boss. The air boss wanted to see me, have me explain I did. I said, boss, these guys are just wanting to resist doing any change in anything that I may come up with, anything that I'm doing. They're just complaining about me. And he said, well, I want Dick Schuman to tell me about this. I said, I'll go over and tell him, go over and ask him. So I went over and said, Dick, the chief and rescue officer have gone to the air boss complaining about the incremental overhaul program, and they scared the air boss, and he talked to me, and now he wants to talk to Dick. Told me, he said, I don't want anything to do with that crap, political garbage. I said, well, the boss specifically requested to talk with you. Okay, so him and I went back to the ship and went up to their office, and the boss said, well, that'll be all, Bosun. You can go back over to the office. You wanted to talk to Dick privately. Well, I guess Dick told him about the same thing I had, about the plan being sound and how we were not disabling the ship. Yes, we were doing a great deal of maintenance, great deal of work on the machinery. We surely were. It was massive. But we were controlling it, every bit of it. But I was concerned that people were confused, and we were not necessarily interfacing a lot of our work with other activities, like for instance with the flight deck and them doing their non-skid work. Well, we were doing a massive amount of maintenance work up there, so we interfered with them replacing non-skid coating on the flight deck. So I had not been briefing the flight deck bosun, so I decided I would do that. And I decided also that because the chiefs and the work center supervisors, who were mostly first-class petty officers, I decided to start a pre-day maintenance meeting in the maintenance office every morning while the ship's in port undergoing these overhaul, this incremental overhaul, and I would require the work center supervisors to do a pre-assignment of all of their people in the work center in writing, having a work list made out, where everybody was assigned to do specific jobs every day. Bring that to the meeting. And we would talk about what's going on today, what happened yesterday, problems we were experiencing, what's planned for tomorrow, and so forth. We did that, and it was working. It was working great. But the chief didn't like that either. He's complaining about anything and everything I did. So he went to the division's officers and accused me of undercutting his authority with his people by talking to his first-class petty officers in that meeting. Well, that was pure bullshit. So they came to me talking about wanting to have a meeting with the chief. And I did, and I told them, well, that is bullshit. So as a general rule, they all agreed. I didn't agree, but I decided to try it, that the chiefs would attend that meeting and they would go brief their work center supervisors. Well, we tried it for one important period. They did not. They come to the meeting, they didn't say anything. They just sat there stone-faced and listened while I talked. Without any input on their own, they were simply resisting. And then they went back to the work center. They didn't brief anybody. Well, the problems worsened. And I reinstituted the meetings, period. We're going to do it. And it worked fantastically. We got good overhaul of the machinery. We got great credibility for the maintenance office and for that maintenance overhaul program. It worked. Thank you, Mr. Schuman. Y'all carry on.